Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. How's everybody? Everybody okay? All right. Today we're going to move on to a new topic that is on the partial derivative. But I have one more application of derivative that we have to look at. So today, before we look at the partial derivative, we will do one application in chapter number 15. And just to inform you, if you look at the derivative topic, there are two chapters. No, there are not two chapters. There is one chapter on the derivative of the log function and the exponent function. So that one, we will cover later if we have time, right? If you don't have time, then we don't have to cover that thing. Okay, all right. So now let us do that one application, the last one, that is on the elasticity. So I think it's chapter 11.5. Okay, so 11.5 for application elasticity. Yeah, 11.5. 11.5, this is on the price elasticity of demand. We just look at one type of elasticity. That is the price elasticity of demand. Now, elasticity, the concept is related to slope, but not exactly slope. In order for us to get elasticity, we have to know the slope. Okay, so if you recall, the slope of the function or the derivative, okay, derivative of a function, what is it, of y equal to f of x? You have what? You have y prime, which is dy dx. So it's related to this one, okay? Derivative of the slope. Or you use simply m, okay, for linear function. Now, what is elasticity? Elasticity, or price elasticity of demand, if we consider demand function, if you follow the book, they use Q and P. So here, you write demand function, Q as a function of P. So we use notation used in the book, Q and P, Q as a function of P. What we have been using is have P function of Q. Okay, so now you just rewrite it. Doesn't matter, you just do the reshuffling. We write demand function Q function of P. All right. Now, what is the derivative of this function? Derivative is dq dp lah. Okay, derivative of Q. I'm sorry, Q. That means you got dq dp equal to f prime p. So that is the derivative of the demand function. Okay, so we're going to use derivative dq dp. All right, okay, that's number one. Now, number two, what is the price elasticity of demand? Okay, the price elasticity of demand is the following. Roughly speaking, the price elasticity of demand denoted by nu, is just like N, equal to what? Equal to percentage change in Q divided by the percentage change in P. So we start with the basic concept. It's the percentage change in Q over percentage change in price. So what does it mean? It means that if you recall, the slope is simply equal to what? Delta Q over delta P. All right. The change in the quantity per unit change in price. But here, we are not talking about 1 unit. We are talking about what? What is the unit here? Unit here is 1%. So unit here is in percentage. It's not just 1 unit of the good, okay, as per in slope. Here, we are talking about percentage. So what is it? So the description is, if price increased by how much? If price increased by 1%. All right. Then quantity demanded, quantity demanded. Now we talk about demand. With the price increase, what happens to the quantity? Quantity will go down. Okay, will go down, will decrease by how much? By the value of the new, by new percent. So that's how we describe it. It's the percentage change of the quantity divided by percentage change in the price. So what does it mean? It means that if the price increases by 1%, then what happened to the quantity? The quantity demanded will decrease by how much? By the value of the elasticity, the new. Okay. Now, on the other hand, if we describe it as the price decreases by 1%, we can also describe it as going the other way around. Then what happened to demand? Demand will what? Will increase, huh? Okay, because of the opposite movement of the relationship. So that is elasticity. Example, let's say I have nu equal to -2. Now, -2, we have to describe it in terms of what we define here. Okay, what is -2? -2 means what? -2 means you just interpret it as -2 over 1. Okay, the -2 over 1, we do write the 1, but it is what? It is -2 over 1. So how do you describe it? So here, by that definition, if price increased by 1%, okay, then what about the quantity? Quantity demanded, what happened to the quantity demanded? Will decrease by how much? Will decrease by, elasticity of demand is always negative. Will decrease by 2%. Okay, so that 2 here, 2%, 2%. Okay, 2%. So that is elasticity. We are talking about the change in price in terms of what? In terms of percentage, 1%. Okay, 1%. So if the, let's say, if the price, let's say the price of what? Give me an example, rice. Okay, let's consider rice. The price is in RM. Okay, quantity is in kilogram. Okay, and then the elasticity of demand, we know it's equal to negative, say 4.5. So what does it mean? It means that if the price of rice goes up by how much? By 1%. Then what about the demand for rice? The demand will go down by how much? By 4.5%. So we're talking about percentage. Okay, we're not talking about the level of the price. Of course, if you want to do more detail, then you have to look at the level of the price. Then you can see what is the new price and then what is the new quantity. But in terms of percentage, if the price increased by 1%, what about the demand? The demand will go down by 4.5%. Okay, all right. Now, if we are looking at the value of elasticity, say equal to 0, negative 0.5, then what does it mean? If the price of rice goes up by 1%, then what about the demand? The demand for rice will go down by how much? By 0.5%. Okay? All right. So that is the basic idea. Now we move on from the basic definition here. We can use derivative in order to make it more refined. So percentage of Q, how do you measure percentage change? So percentage change of Q is, or percentage change in the price, what is it equal to? It's equal to delta Q over Q multiplied by 100. So that is the percentage change in quantity divided by percentage change in the price, delta P over P divided by 100. Okay, 100 cancel out. What do you have? You have, okay, now we use derivative. dq dp, dq over q divided by dp over p. Now that is equal to, you just reshuffle, okay, reshuffle the terms, rearrange, not reshuffle, rearrange. We know that the derivative of the slope function of the demand function is what? dq dp. So that will be equal to dq dp multiplied by p over q. So that is the elasticity of the price elasticity of demand. All right, it's the derivative or the slope. Okay, so here derivative or the slope multiplied by what? Multiplied by the ratio price to the Q. Okay, so that is derivative. No, I'm sorry. That is elasticity. Okay, any question? Now, we know that dq dp, because it's about demand function, will be less than 0. Okay, demand function, the slope is always negative. So you will see that the value of the elasticity will be less than 0. Okay, so that's why when I give example, I say -2, -0.5. Right? Now, one way to do this, some people, but I think economists, we don't normally do that. But we can take out the negative sign. If you look at the book, they put a negative sign there. Okay, if you look at the book on page 723, you have elasticity equal to negative. So I put the negative sign multiplied by dq dp times p over q. So if I put the negative sign, and then dq is always negative, then what happened to the elasticity? What does it become? It becomes positive. Okay, so the value will be positive instead of -2.5. Example, now you have what? You have 2.5. So when you have 2.5, to me, if you are not really well versed on the relationship of the demand, then you can interpret it as what? As positive relationship. Okay, then we can say it's like if the price goes up by 1%, the demand will go up by 2.5%, which is wrong. But when you do this multiplication by negative sign, you have to know that this 2.5 is actually what? It's actually negative. So that's why we don't normally start with that. I just start with this formula. Okay, so don't worry about the negative sign. Okay, don't worry about this one. Just follow what I have. So that you have a negative number, that will be more direct. Okay, that will be more direct. All right, are you clear on that? Okay, so in order to get the elasticity, we need the derivative. Okay, you need the derivative, and then we have to multiply by P over Q. Okay, all right. So let's look at an example. So if you look at an example, just look at example 1. Go to the book, example number 1. What do we have? You have the demand function, P plus 5Q equal 100. Okay, so now we know that, okay, for elasticity, what is it? It's dq, P over Q. So what I need to do here is I have to write the demand function, Q as function of P, not P as a function of Q. If you keep P function of Q, boleh lah, tapi susah lah. Okay, Q function of P. From there, what do I get? I get 5Q equal to negative P plus 100. And then what? And Q equal to negative 1 over 5P plus 20. So that is our demand function. Now, in order to find the elasticity, what I need is dQdP. dQdP, what is it equal to? Equal to negative 1 over 5. Okay. Or in terms of percentage, 1 over 5 is equal to 1 over 5 is 0.02. 1 over 5, 0.02. Saya lah lantak dia lah. Okay.
0.2, sir.
0.2, negative 0.2. Saya punya kalkulator tak. Aduh, malam ada meja ni. Okay, so it's 0.2, or you can use negative 0.2. Okay, so that is the slope or the derivative in order to get the elasticity. Now, if you look at the example, you want to find elasticity if price equal to $40. Okay, so that price equal to 40 is the one that we are going to put into the formula to get the value. So when the price is equal to 40, you need to find Q. So what is Q? Q equal to negative 1 over 5, 40 plus 20. Okay, so what do I get? 45, 8, kan? 8. Ini 45 times 8, 40 negative. So that is equal to 12, kan? 12. 12. So that is Q. So that Q will be the value of the Q that you need there. So that P and Q, all right, that P and Q is what? Is the given. Okay, that P and Q will be given. Okay, given will be given the price. Given at a given will be at a given, okay, at a given price and Q. If it is not given, then we cannot compute. All right, we cannot compute elasticity. We can only compute up to the formula. So you got the price 40 and then the Q is 12. So now you substitute into formula. So what do I get? You will get the value of the elasticity equal to negative. I put the decimal point, it's easier to see. Negative 0.2, okay, negative 0.2 multiplied by P, which is 40, okay, Q 12 over 40. If you look at the book, then you can see the value. So 40 over 12 multiplied by 0.2, then you have the value of, berapa value deh?
Sir,
Yeah.
12 over 40 or 40 over 12?
The price, okay, price is 40. Yeah. It should be 40 over 12. So thank you. So that is not 12 over 40. That should be 40 over 12. So compute value dia kalau look at the ratio, dapat 2/3, 2 over 3. 2 over 3 is 0.6667 now. So kita dapat 2 over 3. Okay, so it's 0.667. You can continue to get 0.667. So that is the elasticity. Okay, all right. So now, if you have another level of the price, in the book they give you 60 and 50. We go one more. The price. Okay, I wanted to find the elasticity. I'll give you B and C. Okay, you can see the book. I'll give you one more. When price equal to 40, 60, 50, you try 80. Okay, so if the price is 80, then what is the value of the elasticity? Okay, compute it. Okay, you got it. Now, if the price is 80, what is the quantity? Price 80, what is the quantity? What is the quantity demanded?
4.
Berapa?
4.
4. Betul, 4.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 4. So
Sure.
you do the working, okay? You find it, okay? Find it. So I don't have the time. So when Q is 80, when press 80, the Q is 2. Right? You put back into the demand function. Then the elasticity will be equal to negative 0.2 multiplied by P over Q. Okay, so you have 80 over 2. Okay, so 80 over 2, then you get what? You get 4, right? 4. Is it 4? 0.1, no. You get 8. 8.
Answer Q2 or 4?
Huh?
Or Q?
When price is 80, Q4 kamu 2 tadi.
4.
4, sorry. I heard 2. So Q is 4. Okay, so Q is 4, then what is the elasticity? Multiplied by 0.2. So you got 20 and 20 multiplied by 0.2, that is 4 and 4. Betul tak? 4. Betul? 4. 4 kan? Confirm? So you have the elasticity is equal to 4. Okay, negative 4, I'm sorry. So if you look at the value of the elasticity at each price, at different price, here 80, okay? And the one that we did earlier was 40. And the price 40, elasticity is negative 0.667. When the price higher at 80, you get negative. So elasticity would be variable, okay? You will have different elasticity at a different price level. Even though the slope, okay, the slope, which is here dq dp, is a constant. Okay, it's a constant. Slope is a constant. But elasticity changing. Why? Simply because we multiply by the price and the quantity. Okay, price quantity level, they are different. So that is elasticity. So when you do this, it means that if let's say we're talking about rice, okay? Let's say we're talking about rice just now. So if the price of rice is 40 ringgit per kilogram, ini price rice tak sampai apa 80, tapi tak apa. Okay, if the price of rice is 40 ringgit per kilogram, then if the price goes up by 1%, what about the demand function? What about the demand? The demand will go down by 0.667%. So since elasticity is different at different level of the price, so we have to state the price, okay? So here at P equal to 40, P 40 RM. Sebab we are talking about rice lah, kita punya sample rice juga. 40 RM, all right? You know the elasticity will be different at each price level. At P equal to 40, if price increases by 1%, 1% from 40. What about the demand? Demand will go down by how much? By 0.667. So here we can see that increase the price 1%, demand will go down by 0.06%, which is very small, very small. Price increase 1%, they increase by 0.6% only. If you look at P equal to 80, okay.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah. Yes.
The value, the value should be negative 0.2 times negative 80 divided by 4, right? because the formula in the book, negative P over Q, but you write 8P/4, not negative.
Yeah, P80, when P80, Q4, betul?
Yes, because I think it should be negative 8P/4. So negative 0.2 times negative 8P/4.
Tak payah, tak payah, tak payah. You don't put that negative sign, okay? I don't follow. Why you put it negative 80? Because the price is not negative 80. The price is 80, positive. Quantity is also positive. For the derivative of the demand function, all right, which is the slope at that point, is negative 0.2. So what do we get? You get negative 4. Okay. Now, if you multiply by negative 4, negative 80, then why you multiply by negative 80?
Because the formula in the book, negative P over Q times with B over D.
Tadi masa saya cakap tadi, tak dengar. At the beginning tadi, saya tengok kita, why I do input the negative sign. Dengar tak dengar tadi, mula-mula saya cerita tadi. Ke belum masuk kelas lagi? Ni, saya cerita ni tadi. I don't put that negative sign. Okay? The book, they use the negative sign. Okay? But I don't put the negative sign. Okay? If you put the negative sign, okay. But why I didn't put the negative sign? Simply because if you put that negative sign, macam buku tu, then you will have elasticity be equal to a positive value. Macam ni lah. All right. If you put a negative, you multiply by negative tadi kan? You multiply by a negative sign, then what do I get? I get n equal to 4. Betul tak? If you multiply by negative. So if multiply by negative, I get negative 0.2, multiply by another negative, 80/4, I put another negative in. Or the book put that negative sign too. Okay, so what I get 4. Okay, 4. Now, if you don't do that, okay, if you don't do that, you just don't multiply by that negative sign, I get negative 4. So that is the only difference. Okay, that's only different. Now, why I prefer this one? Why I prefer the one that I'm doing? Because you know the elasticity of demand is what? Elasticity demand, is it negative or positive? Negative, huh? Okay, elasticity demand is always negative. Okay, it's negative. So, negative. Here. If I multiply by a negative sign, then I get 4. So, when you get 4, okay, we tend to forget or we tend to confuse. Then how do you interpret that? We may interpret it as what? As if the price increased by 1%, what about the demand? The demand will go up by 1%. Okay. Or here, the price will, if the price goes up by 1%, the demand will go up by 4%. In fact, it should be what? It should be the demand decrease by 4%. So that's the reason that I don't choose to multiply by the negative sign here. Okay. So if you want to do the negative number, okay. But when you interpret, make sure that you got a positive value, and that is negative relationship. Okay, make sure we remember that. Okay, negative relationship, because it's about demand function. Okay, all right. You did you get it, or you still not?
Yes, thank you.
Paham, so that's the reason. So if you put negative sign, okay, no problem, you follow the book. But if you should follow me, okay? Don't follow the book. If we follow the book, only a little things I don't follow the book. You know, one or two things. This is one of them. But if you follow the book, okay, no problem. So that is the elasticity of demand. So when the price is 80, okay, so at P equal to 80, so here at P equal 80 ringgit, 80 RM, if the price increases by 1%, then what happened to the demand? Demand will decrease by 4%. Okay, so now you see here, price increase only by 1%, but the demand will increase by what? By 4, which is more, okay, more than 1%. So we see that elasticity will be different at different price level. So that's the reason why I don't multiply by negative sign. If you multiply, okay, you get positive. So if we got positive, then we might describe it wrongly. So that's the only reason. Okay, because I am a student of economics, so I follow more on the economic. You describe wrongly. We tend, we may, okay, we may, because the value is positive. Okay, any questions? Okay, all right. Okay, now, if you look at the values here, you can have elasticities, equal to negative 0.4. You have elasticity equal to 0. You can have elasticity equal to 1. I can have elasticity equal to 4, or elasticity equal to 5.7, or the number can vary from mana boleh positif, I'm sorry, tak boleh positif. Mana boleh positif, baru cakap tadi. Apalah, cuti seminggu lupa habis dah. Mana ada 1, negative 1 lah ni. Okay, equal to negative 4, negative 6.9. It can range, okay? The value of elasticity can range from 0, any value negative. Okay. All right. Now, what we want to do next is, if you look at the book, we want to describe, all right? We want to describe whether you want to describe the degree of elasticity. Okay, you want to describe the degree of elasticity into a few categories. Number 1, the demand, the price elasticity of demand is inelastic, or we just call it demand is inelastic. Okay. Now, what do you mean by demand is inelastic? The demand is inelastic, meaning that the percentage change in the quantity is less than the percentage change in the price. But we know percentage change in the price is always 1%. All right. So if it is less than 1%, then what is the if the demand change by less than 1%, then what happened? Then you call it demand is inelastic. Okay, so if you look at the example, here I have negative 0.667. Okay, which is less than 1%. Less than 1%. But when you want to describe it in terms of elasticity, in terms of inelastic or elastic, then here we disregard the negative sign, because if you look at the value here, negative 6.67, is it bigger or less than 1%?
Less.
Negative, no, negative 667, negative 0.667. Is it bigger or less than 1%? Less than 1%.
Less than 1%.
Less than 1%. Okay, so you will see here the demand is inelastic. Okay, now then we have a problem here. Okay, I show you. So if the demand is elastic, the elastic demand or inelastic, that means the demand is elastic. Demand is elastic, meaning the percentage change in the quantity will be bigger than the percentage change in the price, 1%. So here, if price increased by 1%, the percentage change in the demand will be more than 1%. Example, 6%. Okay, but we were talking about what? We're talking about the elasticity of demand is negative. So let's say I put here negative 4%. All right, negative 4. 34%. Okay. So the one that we did earlier, negative 4%. So if the price increased by 1%, demand will decrease by how much? By 4%, which is more than 1%. Okay, so we call it elastic. Now, problem is, I have a negative number here, negative 4. Mathematically speaking, negative 4, is it bigger than 1? Or is it less than 1? Ya, ini betul. Okay, negative 4, is it bigger than 1 or less than 1?
Less.
Less than 1. Okay, less than 1. So, in order to establish that relationship, all right, so what we do in order to describe elasticity or in order to describe the degree of elasticity, we consider the absolute value. Okay, so absolute value, if n equal to negative 4, then absolute value there equal to 4. So we look at the absolute value. So example here, negative 0.667. Okay, absolute value equal to 0.667. So you don't consider the negative sign. Then we establish that relation. Okay, so the demand is elastic if the percentage change in the demand, in the quantity, is bigger than the percentage change in the price. How do you, that means if the price goes up by 1%, the demand will go down by more than 1%. All right, so example, negative 4. Okay, you have here, let's say, negative 5. So that means negative 5, the value equal to 5. So you can see that relationship. The percentage change in the quantity is 5, which is bigger than 1. But when you describe it, when you want to describe it, you describe it in terms of the negative value. So what does it mean? It means that if the price increased by 1%, what happens to the demand? The demand will go down by 5%. Okay, by 5%. So the decrease in the demand is more than 1%, which is the increase in the price. So that we call elastic. All right, less than 1 inelastic. Bigger than 1, we call it elastic. Okay, because they want absolute value. In actual value, it's of course negative. Okay, all right. So that is the degree of elasticity. Okay, any question? All right. So that is, so in order to make things simple, you just remember this. If the price elasticity demand is equal to negative 0.7, and the elasticity demand equal to negative 8.1, or elasticity demand equal to negative 1.9. Demand here equal to negative 0.5. So you know, with a negative sign, okay, even though with a negative sign, but the value, the absolute value, is bigger than 1. So we don't have to do anything. We just call it what? Elastic, okay, elastic, because the value of elasticity in absolute value bigger than 1. Here, less than 1. So we call it elastic. So, you don't have to, picky value, absolute value, whatever. You just know that if it is bigger than negative 1, or less than, if it is less than negative 1, okay, you got negative 1.9. All right, in absolute value, it is 1.9. So that is elastic. Okay, so anything with a negative sign less than 1, okay, less than 1%, it's elastic. Anything bigger than anything less than 1%, okay, you call it inelastic. So inelastic meaning the value of the elasticity 1, 0. Here the value is bigger than 1. I do that. All right. Okay. Any questions? So inelastic, elastic. Some of the goods, all right. Some of the goods, the demand are elastic. Some of the goods, the demand are inelastic. If the price increases by 1%, the demand can increase by more than 1%, sometimes by less than 1%. For example, in real life, okay, in real life, say, what you mean, real life, in our country. Okay, this is the actual example. The example I gave you earlier may not be true. Well, for us, Malaysia, rice, the demand is equal to negative 0.1. So it is very elastic. Another example, let's say, Coke. Okay, Coke price elasticity may be equal to negative 4.9. Okay, which is elastic. So if for rice, the price of rice increases by 1%, what about the demand for rice? The demand for rice will go down only by 0.1%. No, but Coke, if the price of Coke goes up by 1%, what about the demand? The demand will go down by how much? 4.9%. So here we can categorize the types of goods. Normally, rice, okay, rice, an example. The categories of good which we call necessity, okay, necessities. the demand is inelastic because you need it to survive. If you don't eat rice, kita mati ya. Okay, so we need rice. So the demand is very inelastic. Now, Coke, you don't drink Coke, it's okay. You know, you can drink water. So the demand is inelastic. This is non-necessity. So non-necessity, the demand is elastic. In necessities, normally the demand is inelastic. All right. Okay. So that kind of thing. Okay. Any question? Kita ambil almost one period to do this because elasticity is a concept that is not so straightforward. Now the second part is you want to relate elasticity to revenue. Relate elasticity to revenue. If I want to increase revenue, so we want to relate the elasticity, okay, to revenue. Now, revenue is the income, okay, the income by selling your goods. Elasticity demand is the responsiveness of the demand to an increase in price. Okay, to an increase in price. And of course, we know revenue is equal to 3 times. Okay, now I ask you about this. Let's say n is bigger than 1. Okay, n bigger than 1. That means if the price goes up by 1%, the value. What about the demand? The demand will go down by how much? Demand will go down by more than 1%. Okay, example. Elasticity is equal to -5. Okay, absolute value 5 lah. Just want to see whether it is elastic or inelastic. So it's like elastic. So what about here? I have, if the price increases by 1%, demand will decrease by how much? Demand will decrease by 5%. By 5%. Now, in terms of percentage, which one change more? Is it the demand or is it the price? In terms of percentage, which one changing? Which one change higher? Which one give you more change, higher amount of change? The demand, the quantity demanded, or the price? The demand, okay, because the demand decreases by 5%, price increase only by 1%. Okay, so if your price goes up by 1%, but the quantity that you sell, okay, from the demand is more than 1%, which is 5%, then what happened to your revenue?
Decrease.
Revenue will go down. Okay, yeah, good. Revenue will go down. Why? Because your price increases only by 1%. But the quantity reduced by how much? Reduced by 5%, which is higher than 1%. So the quantity demanded decreases by higher percentage than your price increase. So therefore, revenue can go down. Okay, revenue can go down. All right, itu dia. Okay, now I'll give you another example. Suppose n is equal to 0.5 negative. If the price increased by 1%, the demand will decrease by only 0.5%. So your demand decreases, less than 1%, which is the price increase. So what happened to revenue?
Increase.
Revenue increase. Okay, so here revenue will tend to increase. Why? Because your price increased 1% and the quantity decreased by only how much? By only 0.5%. All right. So that is how you relate revenue to elasticity. So question is, it doesn't necessarily mean, okay? Normally people say, if I increase the price, okay, if I increase price, I always increase revenue. It may not be true all the time, all right? Because here, you can see if I increase price 1%, in fact, revenue will go down. Here, of course, if I increase the price, revenue will go up. So what does it mean? It means that by increasing the price, revenue does not necessarily goes up. It will depend on what? It will depend on the elasticity. Okay? Depend on the elasticity. So your revenue increases or decreases depend on what? Depend on the elasticity. If the demand is inelastic, okay, like this one here, if the demand is inelastic, I increase price, what happened to revenue? Go up or go down? Go up. If the demand is elastic, okay, I increase price, what happened to my revenue? Revenue can go down. Okay, so that is the relationship. All right, any question? Okay, so that is price increase. Now, what happens if we do the other way around? People don't always increase the price. Sometimes people decrease price. Okay, decrease price. So let's say I consider the first example here. If n is equal to -5, okay, I write another -5. All right, now I decrease price. I decrease price by 1%. Now, if I decrease price by 1%, what about the quantity demanded? What about the quantity demanded? Demand will go down by how much? Price decrease, so demand will increase. Okay, demand increase by how much? By 5%. Oh, I decrease price 1%. Demand will go up by 5%. Now, what happened to revenue?
Increase.
Revenue increase. Okay, revenue will increase. Why? Because the demand increase is higher than the price decrease. Okay, so therefore revenue increase. Now, the other example, yang negative 0.5 gitu. Negative 0.5. Negative 0.5. Okay, if I decrease price by 1%, okay, what about your demand? Demand will increase by only how much? By 0.5%. So price goes up by price go down by 1%. Your quantity demanded only increased by 0.5%. Now what happened to revenue?
Decreases.
Revenue decrease. Sebab decrease in the price is bigger than bigger than the increase in the quantity demanded. So revenue goes down. So here, all right, for some of the goods, in fact, it is better to reduce your price. Okay, if I reduce your price, revenue can go up. Okay, so it's not necessarily increasing price, your revenue will go up. Sometimes you decrease price, revenue can go up. Okay, so that if you want to do business, okay, you have to be aware of the elasticity of your product. Okay, is it elastic or is it inelastic? Or sometimes, is it good to increase your price or is it good to decrease price in order to raise your revenue? Okay, now because revenue is equal to what? Revenue is equal to P times Q. Okay, and then P times Q is equal to that Q. Okay, now I go into a little bit detail. Q here is a function of P, okay, which is Q function of P, which is the demand function. And if I want to find the effect of the price increase on revenue, then what I need is I need dr dp. Okay, so if I do that, then we will get Q, all right, which is a function of P plus P dq dp. Or put in short, I got Q plus P dq dp. So that is the what do I call it? The effect. That is the relationship. Okay, that is the relationship. And then from here, all right, from here you multiply by we have to get into you multiply by Q. Okay, you multiply by Q over Q. P over Q by Q over Q. So here, you multiply by Q over Q kasi ito, then what do I get? I get equal to Q PQ 1 plus Q lagi pening tayo lah 1 plus Q lagi susah. Saya nak I just want to show the relationship. Macam mana? I thought I can show it from here. Macam mana nak buat? I thought I can show that relationship, through this one. I got elasticity less than if the price goes up. Price goes up 1%, then tak boleh. We still need to use this one. Use ni sometimes susah sikit. So tak boleh. Okay, because you've got this one. Then kita susah sikit. So tak payahlah. I don't know. I just want to focus. Tapi pandai nak show. Macam ni. Tak apa, kita ambil period ni cakap elasticity. Okay, yeah. You go by the elasticity. All right, you go by the elasticity. If it is elastic, okay, if it is elastic, then you will have the change in the quantity would be more than the change in the price. Okay, so jadi kalau demand elastic, let's say the demand elastic, this is that's the price. Now demand elastic normally would be flatter demand. Okay, flatter demand. So kita dekat P0, Q0. If I increase price 1%, increase price ini, price increase. Okay, flatter. Okay, you have a money inelastic. Okay, because the price increased by 1%. Price increased by 1%. Price increased by 1%. The demand will go down by less than 1%. You see? Now, this is the positive price increase. All right. What about the change in the quantity? That is the negative. You decrease your quantity by a certain amount, by a certain percentage. Okay. If you look at this one, if the demand is inelastic, I increase price 1%. Then the quantity will go down by what? Say 0.5%. Will go down by 0.5%. Now, which area is bigger here? The positive area ataupun the negative area? Positive is bigger. Okay. Here you here the effect of the positive will be bigger than the effect of the negative. So therefore, revenue will increase. Okay, so inilah tadi. This is where for this diagram, revenue increase. If the price increase by 1%, the demand will go down by 0.5%, revenue increase. So how do I show it? We show it by the area. Okay, demand, you draw the demand flat in elastic. So you can see here the effect of the price increase, which is that area. The effect of the quantity decrease, that flatter area. So the effect of the price increase, okay, effect of the price increase is bigger than what? Effect of quantity decrease. So therefore, revenue will go up. Okay, all right. Wow. Now, I go back to the second possibility. If I reduce price, okay, price increase. The second one, we reduce price. Okay, if I reduce price by 1%, what happens to the revenue? Revenue will go down. Why? Because the demand increased by only 0.5%. So if I increase the price, then we can always go backward. So you start from there. Okay, I start from here. I think I draw a diagram. Then I can draw a diagram. Okay, I don't want to use the diagram. I draw a diagram. A flat demand function that is the P Q. So let's start from there. Okay, P0, Q0. Now, if I reduce price 1%, so price will go there. That much. Now, since it's inelastic, you can see here the area for which the price decreased and the area for which the quantity increased. Which one is larger? The area for the price decrease or the area for the quantity? The area for the price decrease or the area of the quantity increase? Which one is larger?
Area of price decrease.
Area of price decrease. So here now that is the negative part. That is the positive side. Okay. So here you will see the positive. So here we are talking about the price decrease. Okay. So for the price decrease, the positive is less than the negative. So revenue will decrease. In other words, the positive effect of quantity increase is less than the negative effect of what? Of price decrease. So revenue will go down. Okay. So now, if we are talking about inelastic demand, then is it good to increase price or is it good to decrease price? Demand inelastic. Okay, like this one, demand inelastic. Is it good to increase price or decrease your price? Increase price or decrease price? Here, okay, I increase price. What happened to the revenue? Revenue go up. If I reduce the price, what happened to my revenue? Revenue will go down. So for inelastic good, all right, it's better to increase your price because revenue will increase. Okay. So I want you to go home. I give you homework. If the demand is elastic, just show it from the diagram, the way that I did. Now, if the demand is elastic, then the demand function is steep. Okay. So what you do, you find a level, certain level, Q0. Now, price will go up by 1%. So somewhere there. Okay, so that is the positive part, price increase. Now, what about the quantity? Quantity will go down that much. So that would be the two area. This is the positive area. Okay, you increase your revenue, or you increase your price. That is the positive effect on revenue by higher price, but quantity will go down. So that one is the negative effect on revenue that we push your revenue down. So if the demand is elastic, If the price increases by 1%, then what happened to revenue? Now, which one is bigger, the negative or the positive?
Negative.
Negative is bigger. So what happened to revenue? Revenue will go down. Okay. So negative effect, the effect of what? The negative effect of the quantity decrease. You sell less, okay, but your price is higher, so your positive effect of the higher price. But the negative effect of the decrease in the demand will be higher than the positive effect of the price. So therefore, revenue will go down. So for elastic good, you increase your price, revenue may go down. Okay, so you can draw another one for the price decrease. Okay, so for price decrease, what happens to your revenue? We should get revenue will decrease. So for elastic good, actually, it's better to reduce your price. If you reduce your price, you can increase sale by much higher percentage. So revenue can go up. Okay. For elasticity is important, it's important, especially if you do economics, because it's not just in terms of the price changes, but also you can relate to revenue, right? You can relate to your revenue. So the question would be, is it always good to increase price? Not necessarily. Okay, we have to look at the elasticity of demand, because sometimes by increasing price, actually our revenue can go down. Okay, all right. So I'll give you a few questions. 11.5. Number 5. There are, actually the questions things are similar. Sometimes that's the function, function is different. So that will be on how we find the derivative. Number 5, number 3. Okay, do number 3. And then 5, 3. For number 5, the bottom, there will be on revenue. Dia cari function yang ada function yang pelik-pelik, susah nak buat. If the demand function. Number 7. Number 7. Susah sikit buat derivative. Susah. So cukup tu. 5, 3. And then you can relate to elasticity. So buat 3, 4, 5 cukup. Right. So we are done with the topic on derivative. So the midterm ni akan sampai sini ya. Right. So our midterm will be up to that point. Anything that I cover Wednesday ni will not be included midterm. So midterm we only cover up we learn until today. The next topic, which is on partial derivative, that will be included in another test. Okay. All right. Any question? Anything? Okay. Okay. Kalau tak ada apa-apa, I will see you again on Wednesday. So Wednesday, we are going to start with the partial derivative. So I hope, because it's introduction, I hope everybody will come, because the new topic, introduction, is very important. So I will see you again. Have a nice day. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
Assalam. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.